What's up, people? Welcome back to On the Clock. Today, we are doing a special experiment. We are going to be drafting a team. Me, myself, Blue Chip Prospect Don, and our guest, Sebastian High. Basically, that's what we're doing. I put a list of players on the screen, and we're each going to be picking a player, like kind of a mock draft, team building type of stuff. That's it. How are you doing, Sebastian High?
I'm doing great. Thanks for having me on. It's going to be a fun experiment here to kind of like build a team out of the draft eligible talents and try to make things a little bit cohesive. But I feel like all the plans that we're going to be able to come up with in this episode are going to be wrenches thrown into them pretty quickly by the other two people here taking part in this like second edition, right, of this practice.
Yeah, basically, I did it last year with one of your colleagues from Elite Prospect, Simon from Briser la Glace. Was a cool idea. Basically, stole his entire idea and and Google Sheet. Basically, copied it so we can do it ourselves. Don't tell him. So, but yeah, I think I had a lot of fun doing it last year. So I thought it would be nice to do it again. That's it.
Awesome.
Yeah, this is going to be really exciting. We're going to do a snake draft. So Blue Chip is going to go number 1. I'm 2. Sebastian is 3. And yeah, let's get this started. Blue Chip, who are you going with the number 1 pick?
So I'm the one starting, and I'm going to go with should I go center? There's a lot of center in this draft. So I'm going to start with Matthew Schaefer right away. So I'm going to get the best D in the draft. There you go, Matthew Schaefer to Blue Chip Prospect team from Terrebonne.
And so I'm on the clock here, and I'm going to take Michael Misa, obviously. But the question is, do I put him at center or left wing? And I am going to put him at center, actually. I think that get my number 1 center of the future. And yeah, I think Michael Misa would definitely be the pick here.
Ooh, what I did didn't work. Wait a second. It's the first experiment. All right, I got this one done. Then I got to do this one at center. There you go. All right, so it's Sebastian High time, and you get to pick twice in a row, right?
I do indeed, and I think first and foremost, obviously getting a center is pretty important here, but I also want to add some size. So for my first pick, I'm going to pick Gabriel Eliasson. Just kidding. I'm not going for last year's big boy. I'm going to go with James Higgins. I want to get that dynamism down the middle of the ice. I'm going to trust that he can develop as a center long term with his high-end intelligence. So I want to construct a team around Jimmy Higgins. And for the other pick, I think the perfect player to pair him with at right wing, get some size, get some meanness. Porter Martone, give me that dynamic duo with size and skill and everything you want in terms of offensive punch.
Porter Martone was supposed to fall back to me.
Not quite.
Okay, cool. All right, so that's your turn. Prospect Don.
Yeah, I'm going to throw a whole wrench into this, and I'm going to take Caleb Desnoyers. I want my first 2 centers to be absolute studs in this class, and I just feel like the drop-off at center is a lot higher than the drop-off at any other position.
Yeah, well, that's not a bad pick. So now I get to pick twice in a row because that's how it works, right?
Yep.
Okay, cool. Just to make sure. So my first line center is going to be Roger McQueen. Just like this. And I'm going to follow this up with my two-way center. We can shoot the puck, Anton Frondo. So there you go for the top 6 center position.
Wow.
Some size, some two-way, some, a little bit of everything in there.
So this is a really tough one. Can you scroll up a tad bit on the spreadsheet?
Nope.
Okay, Ivan Riap. No, I'm going to say...
Jeez. It's a bit early.
I'm going to say Jake O'Brien here. I just think he's best player available, and I know...
Center course is disgusting.
Another center, yeah.
Yeah.
Jake O'Brien, my power play is going to be absolutely fantastic as well, so I think that this would be fantastic. And you can play him at wing if I wanted, but I'm going to take him at Jake O'Brien at center.
The guy's going to be all offense, no defense.
There's some sleepers.
All right, so it's your turn, Sebastian.
This is difficult.
Oh, do you want the list?
Okay, well, I'm honestly, look, I've built my top line around 2 high skill players. Now I want to get a gross top pairing. So give me Jackson Smith and Radim Murtka here, please. I want big boys who can skate well, and I want to have a unit of 5 players that can just dominate the competition here. So I want to spread my picks here, do the opposite of what the Prospect Don's doing. I want players in every position, not just in one.
Well, I was really thinking I was going to get Jackson Smith or Murtka there, so obviously this is tough.
You're going to have to play in the offensive zone because you're going to have issues.
You know, I'm going to take Eklund.
You sure about that?
I'm just taking best play available every single time.
First line?
I mean, in my list. Yeah, first line.
All right, cool. All right, so now that's my turn, and I get to pick twice. I have the center line. I have a first LD. And I'm going to go with Logan Hensler first. Then I'm going to slot beside Matthew Schaefer. This pair is going to move. And I'm going to add, I think, a winger or... Oh, no. I could do like Brady Martin. I have a third-line center that's going to hit everything. Yeah. Yeah.
I want Brady Martin.
I couldn't take Brady Martin.
Oh, I need some physicality in there. So, yeah, Brady Martin. That's going to be good.
Can you go up a tad bit?
Oh, yeah, sorry. I forget that.
And
I'm controlling the list.
Oh, this is tough because obviously I've been... I'm going to go Cameron Reed. No, actually, Kayshawn Aitchison. Sorry, Kayshawn Aitchison. I'm going Kayshawn Aitchison.
Yeah, that's not bad. That's not bad.
Yeah.
Like to build this list, I basically went with my list. I went with Elite Prospect. How you call that? The thing you just came out with?
The draft guide?
Yeah, the draft guide. So I use like the draft guide. I use Elite Prospect's website and the draft guide and my list to build all of this together. So some players should be higher, some should be lower, but it's not exactly a ranking. It's just I went like in order. So
perfect.
So now it's your turn, Sebastian.
Yeah, and I have a couple positions to fill, and staying true to form, let me get a straight line across my whole team in terms of getting a player in every position. I'm going to kick it off with Carter Bear.
Yeah.
So violent. I think he'd be a great fit playing with guys like Hagens and Martone. I think that would be an absolute disgusting top line to have to play against.
Is it first line or second line?
First line there. And then I want to have an absolute demon on my second line who can bring in loads of depth scoring. So I'm going to pick Justin Carbonneau.
Oh.
No, can't do that. You were not supposed to. Yes. There you go. That's a good... yeah, it's pretty good. I like your team.
Mm-hmm. And then I'm going to take Lyndon Lakovic for my right wing.
For the right
I was
wing?
highly considering him. I was really considering Lakovic too.
I mean, honestly, you could put him at left wing if it makes people feel better, but I would put him at... Yeah, just put him at 2 left wing.
Yeah? Okay. But it's a good left wing. Yeah, Victor Eklund, then followed by Lakovic. It's pretty good.
Just have some size upside there. No defense.
Nobody on the right. Nobody on defense. Okay.
No.
All right, so then I should probably get some wingers in there. Maybe another D. I'm not too sure about that. Do we care about defense? Do we want a guy like Malcolm Spence?
Nah, you want a goalie here.
A goalie?
Do we have goalies?
I don't have a goalie.
Go.
I'm going to add another defenseman. I'm going to go with Fiddler or Cameron Reed. It's too good. So we're going to have like puck-moving defensemen on every line. And now like I'm going to have issues with wingers. Like what's left is already like just okay. All right, I'm going to add some speed. Colin Putter. And he's going to go in a second. Right here. There you go.
To stay true to myself, I'm gonna go Malcolm Spence. But I really do want him as my right winger. I want more size. I want him as my Number 1 right winger.
Number 1?
Yep.
All right, cool. That's good. That's your turn, Sebastian. I'm just going to put that up so you can see.
I'm going to go... Okay, so I still need a second line center. I'm going to strike right now before Braden Coots is off the board. I would really like him in that role. Do I have a big center core? Not whatsoever, but I think that with his motor, he'd compensate quite nicely. And I will pair him...
Looks like Chicago.
Got a couple options. This is tough. Who do I want more? You know what? Just give me all of the offensive punch that there is in this draft, and give me Cameron Schmidt.
Cameron Schmidt.
I'm reaching slightly on him.
Slightly. Okay.
I would have taken him soon too. He would have been my right winger for sure.
Yeah.
I'm playing on the left.
On that second line with
on the left.
Second line left. Yeah. I'm not playing Cameron Schmidt my bottom 6.
Wait a second. Just gotta cut it and then apply it. There you go. Yeah, Cameron Schmidt in the bottom 6 would be. Yeah, that's not
Fourth line
not a bad top 6 though. James Higgins, Braden Coots down the middle, Porter Martin, Carbonneau, Carter Schmidt. I mean, it's a good mix of dynamic and size and nastiness and
motor.
It's good. Yeah.
And then I'm gonna take Blake Fiddler here. Just get my right-handed. Or did you take? Yeah, you took Cameron Reed. So
yeah, but
Blake
he's still there for some reason. But
I'll draft him again.
No, he can't. But he's here. So Blake Fiddler.
Yep.
First pair.
Yes, sir.
That's a strong pair. All right. So now it's my turn. I have absolutely 0 right wingers. I have only 1 winger that's Cullen Putter. It's not ideal. And why is Cullen Putter still there too? I'm having issues with the way I build my thing.
Can you just delete those guys or?
Yeah, I guess if I go like this and I go with Cameron Reed, there you go. I don't think there's any other one that I missed. All right, so we should add. Who do I like in there? Okay, I'm gonna go with Nestrizel.
Unfortunate.
I don't really have any options for the first line, so he has no choice but to go in the first line, which is probably not ideal, but it is what it is. Roger McQueen and Vaclav Nestrizel together could be pretty good. And then, who's in there that's pretty good? I like Bill Zonan, Will Horkoff. I'll go with Zonan. There you go. Like that. I have a good center line, but the rest is it's questionable.
For my left D, I'm going to go Sasha Momidian. I think that he would be a really good second pair defenseman on my left side. Yeah. And, building through the trenches now.
All right, cool. Now it's your turn, Sebastian.
I'll go first and foremost with Benjamin Kindle as my third line right wing. And who do I want to pair him with? Or do I want to bring in a defenseman? And give me Max Psanitska as my second right D.
No, you can't do that. How'd you get to build this team? Something is not working.
I'm happy with my lineup so far.
Like my first left wing is Bill Zonan. It's like, I mean, I like him, but I don't like him that much. Anyway.
Can you go up a little bit?
Yeah.
I really like drafting teams. I want to go Shane Van Sage here. I feel like he would just be the perfect third line right winger for me.
Yeah.
With Jacob, or I do want him on my fourth, but yeah, I'm gonna go third line.
Third line. Like that. All right. No, I need some. I would need some offensive talent in there probably. I like Riker Lee, but there's some issues there. Yeah, I'm gonna go with Will Hurkoff. Yeah, I'm gonna go with Will Hurkoff on my third line left wing, like that. And I'm gonna go with. Let's go Reshny, a right shot or a left shot.
I want to say left shot, but I could be mistaken. Let me check. He is a left shot.
A left shot. Okay, so I would have moved him to the right wing, but he's not. I love Jarovsky a lot, but you know what? Mason West.
I was picking Mason West. He was going to be my fourth line right winger. I'm going to go Carter Amico here. Or Amico, the pronunciation, but second right defenseman.
Your right side is going to be limited.
What do you think?
You're going to be stuck in your zone the whole night.
Hey, Michael Bisa could do it all.
He's going to have to. Okay, so with this team, probably could use some help on the left side of defense, but I might neglect that position for a bit longer. Could you scroll up? I just want to see all the names one more time. Okay, give me, first and foremost, before he's taken from right out in front of me, Riker Lee, please. I'm taking him as my left wing on my third line. And nice. I will pair him with Reshny shouldn't still be available.
No, I know,
but like he's not a fit for my third line. So I'm gonna go. Give me Cole McKinney, please, as my third line center. Hard work and two-way impact. I'm happy with him to.
You want it third line?
Do the offense? Yeah, please.
There you go. Solid top 9. Good.
I'm going to take Cole Reshny as my third line left winger.
That's a good spot for him.
Yeah. Third line. There you go. So you almost completed your top 9. It's not too bad. All right. So, do I want more size? I love size. Okay, I'll take. Jack Nesbitt for the fourth line center. Do I go there? I like Betkowski. Do I take it right away? No, I think I need to work my right wing a little bit. Is there a right shot in there? Is Papanikis right? Right shot? I think so, no?
1 second. Papanikis is a right shot, yeah.
Yeah? William Moore. William Moore's right shot too, right?
I believe he's a left shot.
Left.
Oh, no. That doesn't work then. Okay, I'm going to add some skills then. Sharovsky on the third line. There you go.
And I am trading my pick for Matthew Schaefer here. Yeah, so I'm going to go Milton Gashrin as my 4C. I feel like that would just be somebody that plays in the middle of the ice, is a leader for my team. Yeah, I want Milton Gashrin 4C.
Yeah, not a bad choice. It's where he's going to be.
Thank you. You put him in Sebastian's.
No, not. I'm giving him your players.
He's gonna need them. Look at this roster.
All right, so I gotta take it back. Got it. There you go. So your center line is basically complete. It's not bad. Michael Misa, Jake O'Brien, Caleb Desnoyers, Milton Gashrin. Strong center line.
It's incredible. It's Kyle Dubas is sweating.
And okay, so I definitely need to fill my top 4 left shot defense spot, and there's definitely a player I've been eyeing for quite a few rounds now, and he's still available. So give me Jacob Romback, please.
No,
in that spot.
No, there's no way.
Very happily selecting him in this range. And on top of that, another player I actually didn't think was still available because his name was further down the board than I thought it should be. Jack Murtagh as a fourth line winger scorer. I think he'd do very well on the right wing there on my fourth line.
Yeah, that's not bad. Jack Murtagh, some speed. There you go. All right, so it's your turn. Prospect done.
Can you give me... Oof. This is tough. I guess Henry Brusevich. I want right D.
Henry Brusevich. Oh, I didn't put my Jarowski earlier. What's going here?
He's cheating.
Don't look at the screen. I'm adding player. All right, so now it's my turn. We are going up, right? All right, cool. So I'm going to work a little bit on that right side of the defense. We already have Cameron Reed to move the puck on the line. So do you want like Bedkowski? Do we want Wang? Yeah, no, Bedkowski. I'd rather have Bedkowski. So there you go, Bedkowski there. And after that, I'm gonna go with Daniel Prokhorov on my fourth line.
Yep.
There you go. Yeah, there's some size in that lineup.
Jacob Ishwazniak for me. Oof. Left wing.
I was about to pick him, so that's good.
Thank you.
On your fourth line?
You took my Rombach.
I did take your Rombach.
Rombach, sorry.
In that case, I think I'm gonna look to just finish off my forward core here, and I'm gonna take Hayden Papanicus with that 6'4" frame, good underrated skill, and he's gonna get 1C opportunities next season in Kelowna. I think his development curve could go way upwards. Yeah. And for my last winger spot, look, we're going for a guy that can crash and bang, a guy that works hard. Give me Bruno Osmanis, please, in that role.
Where is he? Right here. Left wing?
Yes, please.
There you go. All right, so you're basically completed and forward, right? Yeah. 4 lines. Good.
And for my last left defenseman spot, I'm going to take Joshua Ravensbergen here. And he's a great skater. He's 6'5". I think he would be fantastic fit as my lefty. No, I'm going...
With his pads?
Yeah. I'm going to go Wang here. I think that the ability... Simon Wang.
Okay.
I think that him going to BU is going to be a little risky for him to see...
Where is he? Okay.
Is he going to get playing time?
I didn't grab the right Wang. All right.
Yeah, I think that solidifies me as the best defense in the entire draft right now. So,
I have an argument there. I think.
Yeah, you definitely do.
I mean, Schaefer is also doing some heavy lifting there for Etienne.
I might have the worst, but
yeah, your right side is, geez, I don't know. I don't like it. If I'm going to be frank, it's not good. All right. All right. So now I gotta do that defense. I don't want another puck moving. I like Kerman Limetov. This guy can move, so he's going on my left D here. And I really love LG Mooney, but I'm not gonna take him for my fourth line.
Fourth line right winger, you should.
No, but I really like him, but no. Aiden Lane, which is not ideal for a fourth line, but I think he has some. Is that a good move? Yeah, it's a good move. It's always a good move. There you go. Yep.
Is this when I start to ask for McKenna?
Yes.
I'm gonna take Adam Banach as my second right wing. Just as much offensive upside as possible.
I would have gone with Babe or something. Maybe Keenan.
It's probably not a good move, but
Banach is interesting.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. I didn't know you didn't have your your second right wing done
not
by
yet.
now. All right.
I should have put Cole Reggie there, but
Yeah, but he's a left shot, so.
he'll figure it out.
Because I would have put it on with one of my right wing if I thought we could do that, but no, I make the rules. So
Okay. In that case, okay, I'm going to go for my final two spots on defense.
Mm-hmm.
On the left side, I'm going to go size and violence. Give me Maceo Phillips.
Yep. Yes, sir.
And on the right side, I'm very torn between some more size with Sean Barnhill or Charlie Trethewey, who's actually more physical. But because Trethewey can play hot potato with the puck sometimes, let me go with Sean Barnhill, and he's also like 6'6". So give me that huge third pairing, please.
all right.
Rombach and Phillips are going to be playing together next year too, so that's awesome. That pairs. I mean, they're not going to play on the same, but that's huge.
This is a big defensive core I've got. What, like 6'4", 6'6", 6'6", 6'5", 6'6", 6'6". I went size and range.
Yeah, Adam Banak might die out there.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is tough because I can't take LJ Mooney. I'm going to take Ivan Ryabkin and put him at right wing, fourth line. And just
I endorse
upside
this
play
decision.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, not upside. No, violent play. You're going for hits. You're going for like hatred of other people.
That's true. Yeah, that'll close out my team, I think.
All right. And my last choice, I'm going to want somebody who can move the puck on every line. Kerman Limatov can move the wheels, but now I'm sure he can move the puck.
You have a great option here on right side.
Yeah, but me, I like him.
No.
No way.
Guy up. One up. Go one up and you're good.
Baldwin?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah, he's a great puck mover.
Hey, 3 up and you got it.
You know what? I like Alex Wine. I really like him. So, yeah, there you go.
Let's see
It's probably not my best choice, but I look at the team overall, and it's not great anyway, so it's fine.
All right, comment who you think did the best. Prospect On is my name, just so you guys know.
Well, personally, me, if I have to choose one of those teams, I think Sebastian did the best. He has the center line is the weakest probably, but I think the team is the most like complete. A lot of size on defense, guys with wheels like Jackson Smith, Ryan Merka, Pselishka, I like him a lot too. Rombach is good. Porter Marton, Carbonneau, Carter Bear. Like obviously Cameron Schmidt in the top 6 is not something I would do. But I mean I wouldn't have him on my team at all, but that's not my choice. But overall I think it's great. Yeah.
Thank you. I think like with that roster, my thinking was kind of to go all skill top 6 and then get a third line that can do a bit of both with skill and hard work, and then a fourth line that's just a pain to play against, and then you have 6 defensemen that can sweep up all the mistakes that like the top 6 forwards might cause going the other way.
Yeah, I waited too long to start taking wingers. So I had a good center line. I built like McQueen, Frondell, and Martin, and then I had no wingers. And they were all gone. No Lakovic, no Carbonneau, nobody. So yeah,
it's actually interesting doing this because the wingers flew off the board so quickly. I mean, obviously you have to get 8 on each team, but it just felt like there was no wingers at even the start. I like that. That's why I was contemplating putting Misa as my left wing, just because I felt like there was more center options. So, I mean, William Moore is still out there. Jack Nesbitt's still out there. Romano. I mean, there's some good centers. There's like, I had to put Banak on my second right wing spot, and that just destroyed the outlook of my team, I think.
Wow. I mean, he's dynamic. He's fun to watch. That's for sure.
He is very fun to watch. But I find it interesting, too, how, like, very skilled players who, on paper, are easily among the best, like, forwards that should have gone in these picks, like William Moore, fell
Yeah.
because they don't fit into like bottom six roles as well, right? So
Yeah.
you kind of also see like the thinking that NHL teams go through on draft day of, okay, there's a high value, high upside swing here, but we already have a lot of players that can fit into these roles. Why not go for the guy that fits the outlook of the team a bit better? So it's a fun part of the exercise here because you kind of have to make those same decisions as well.
Yeah. And I made the best. Cool. All right. So you wanted to make a segment on the Habs.
Yes.
Yeah.
So we have Sebastian High and Blue Chip Prospect, and they are both huge Habs fans. And it really does suck because obviously they stole Demidov from the Blackhawks, but like that's for a different story. So
It was
they have
given to
7
us.
Picks. Yeah, it was. I don't know what our. I don't want to talk about this. My therapist is like, you can't talk more Demidov. But in my honest opinion, like the Habs are going to make some splashes at the draft. They have 7 picks in the first 82, I believe, and that's just so many picks, especially in this class. I just want your thoughts basically on who do you guys think they're going to take, 16, 17, maybe some second and third round targets that you guys have, and where do you guys see the Habs being a team in the next 3 to 5 years? Are they going to be a perennial contender, and is there a dynasty of brewing based on how many young players you guys got?
You want to start or I
start,
start? Okay,
You
I
go
can
for
start. First thing first, I'm not sure if they're gonna pick with both first round pick. I mean, I think everybody kind of expected them not to pick with both picks in the first round, but now the closer we get to the draft, the more it looks like they will probably do it. But I don't have any information on that. If they do, I think it would be wise to go for upside on both picks, since it's basically what the Habs need. I think that the pipeline has a lot of depth. It's not necessarily what they need. They already have players like Oliver Kapanen or Owen Beck and Florian Jackai and all the players that you need to fill your bottom 6 at some point. But we might need help on the top 6 at some point too. So I think if there's players that fall player that falls to number 16 like Carbonneau or Lakovic or Carter Bear because of the injury or something like that, I would jump on that occasion, like no questions asked. It would be the best case scenario. And after that, if they can go with a player like maybe a Logan Hensler, who could be a number 4 defenseman in the NHL in the future because he does have the wheels for it. There's some polishing to do there, obviously, but I think he has a chance to get there, and it's actually maybe a need. Like we already have Ryan Backer, we already have Mailloux. Is Mailloux an NHL player on a every night basis? I'm not sure about that. We're gonna have to see. He's the type of guy that might not play in the NHL, or he's going to play for a long time. Like he has upside if he puts it all together. The question is, will he put it all together? And we're getting a little bit late in the development, so he might never put it all together. But Logan Hensler would be like some kind of insurance piece on the right side of the defense. So I think I would like it. But if there's like 2 wingers, like let's say Lakovic and Carbonneau both fall, I take both, and I don't care about Hensler at that point. But
yeah, I think like I have a pretty similar overall idea of what the Habs might want to do on draft day in terms of targeting those high upside wingers that could really add to the top 6 in the future. The Habs are envisioning like a guy like Michael Hage should like take that step in a couple years as well. And if you pair Hage with Ivan Demidov, and then you have like one more slot open there in the top 6, I think one of those guys could be a really nice fit, whether it is your Carbonneau or even a Carter Bear, who's a player I adore, and Victor Eklund might also still fall to this range. Like we're hearing rumblings around the NHL that he might go later than the public has him. So if any of those guys are available, I think they like each have like very different reasons to make a lot of sense for the Habs. But I think where I might disagree slightly is I think the Habs would really like to shore up that right D spot, because that is Probably the only other glaring hole in terms of what the pipeline and the overall organization has to offer is that down the right side. You already have Reinbacher for one of those slots. You have Mailloux as a big question mark, and you want one more guy that could project as a top four piece on a contending lineup. And I think Logan Hensler's a brilliant option for that kind of spot. I've liked him more and more the more I've been watching. Also in like postseason tape, going back and digging into him. Like I'm going to be writing an article on him over at Elite Prospects that might be getting published a little bit later with our scheduling thing with the articles at EP, but it's in the works, and it was a reminder to me of just how mobile he is, how physical he is, and the amount of runway there is as well for his on-puck game, and he took some really big strides over the course of the season. The first half tape was so tough to watch with Hensler.
Yeah.
By the end of the season, he was trying to dangle through defenses, doing it quite well, and timing his passes as well in terms of not holding on to the puck for too long. So I think he'd be a great fit in Montreal. But yeah, I think those are probably the main options that we're talking about with the Habs in the first round. If they
it's true that he got a lot better in the second half of the season. I actually went back watching games and clips of him. I think it's last week, and I haven't watched for a little while, and I was impressed. Like I knew the skating was good already, but I was impressed by how good it is and how deceptive he can be with his skating too. Whether it's on retrievals, whether it's when attacking, whether it's in transition, like he knows how to use his feet to make defenders miss and move the puck. I think he's a very intelligent player. Probably the season didn't go as well as we expected it to be, but overall, I think he catched up on the second half. And yeah, you're absolutely right that it would be a great ad for the Avs, not only for the need, but also because I think he deserves to go in that spot too.
Yeah, for sure. But in terms of like second round candidates, are there any ones that like stand out to you, Etienne, that could make like a lot of sense for the Habs?
A lot of sense for the Habs. I'm a believer that in the second round, I would draft for mostly need, because I think there's like a giant kind of tier going from the late first round to very far into the second round. All players that are pretty close to me in terms of value. So at that point, like the Habs have not the best center depth, I would say. So if you can add some centers in there, if you can add some size or some right shot defensemen, I would keep doing that. Obviously, if a player, like every year there's players that falls, like the small productive player like Basha last year or the Nikita Artamonov last year, like they all fell into the 40s and 50s. So if there's a Colin Potter or a Cole Rezhny, a Kindle that fall all the way there, then I think you take that chance. But if there's a player like Nestrazil available, even though it's not a center, but he feels the need in terms of size. Like they need to add size into that lineup, and I think he brings that a lot. It's like 6'5", 6'6", something like that. So yeah, I mean, I don't have specific players, but I would add players with size mostly, unless one of those dynamic small players fall, and maybe try to add a center or a right shot defenseman.
Like, I think a couple players that would make sense in those molds then would be at right shot defense. I'd be looking at a guy like David Bedkowski, who's just like a refrigerator of a player, right?
Yeah.
Like, so big, so physical. Could be a great fit on that bottom pairing, especially if Mailloux doesn't pan out. Then you have the guy to play that role, and could be a great compliment to any one of like Adam Engstrom or Arbor Jacki or Jaden Struble. The list goes on of left shot defensemen in the organization. But I think in terms of centermen, Hayden Papanikis could make sense, but he is a right shot, and the Habs have loads of right shots. The Habs aren't going to do this because of just how much they value character above all else, but a really funny option would be in the third round or fourth round to pick up the faller, the Ivan Ryabkin, in terms of that violent left shot, bottom six playmaking center. But the Habs value interviews a lot, and from everything we've heard from the Combine, the interview process was not golden for Ivan Ryabkin.
Oh, no, it wasn't? Okay.
No, anything.
Because I like him in that range. I don't like him in the first. I don't know if he's going to go in the first. I would be surprised a little bit, but in the range of, like, let's say late second or like early third or something like that, I think he's perfect in that range because he's violent. He does have some skills. He's a good shooter. He can identify space on the ice. So he has some of the talent you're looking for an NHL player, but he also have that thick body and hits everything that he sees. So I would love it too. So, but I wouldn't love it like with 17 or 16s. Like, no.
Yeah, I think one more name I wanted to bring up, because I think he's like an extremely Habs type of pick, is William Moore, because he has a decent amount of size to him. He's 6'2", 6'2.5", but just so lanky. The Habs love drafting their lanky guys that still have to fill out their frames, because they can project that they're going to be quite a few regular improvements in how they withstand pressure and all that, and kind of like a Michael Hage light selection. If you can get that in the second round, that could make a lot of sense for the Habs. He brings that goal scoring and the playmaking and the overall intelligence that I think they value a lot too.
And I think he's got better and better as the season went on to use his body in puck protection, even physically. Like if at the U18s, I saw him a couple of times like destroy people, and I was like, "You do that, okay?" But I think he would be a great option. Personally, I have him in my first round. I know a lot of people kick them out of their first round, but me, I like him. Like not a lot, but if he's there in the second round, let's say at 41 or something like that, that's a type of player that I would jump on the occasion to draft for sure.
Yeah. What do you guys think of like? William Moore is very skinny and lengthy. I was very surprised seeing him at the combine because he actually was a lot smaller than I thought. He can put on a lot of muscle. But what do you guys think of a guy like Cole McKinney or Will Horkoff being a center for your team? And also blue chip prospect, I think his entire right-handed defense that he drafted, I think could be Habs targets in first round, second, or even third round. So it was kind of funny you were drafting 4 Habs needs at that right defense shot.
Yeah. Well, I'm so used to like look at things from a Habs point of view that sometimes I just unintentionally draft things in the way from the Habs point of view. So.
But as for the centers there that you brought up, I think like Cole McKinney as a player archetype, fantastic fit for a bottom 6 for Montreal, but he's a right shot center, and the Habs have only right shot centers in their system basically right now. I think that might be something that makes them look a different direction, but Horkoff is a left shot, played a decent amount on the wing this season as well. I don't think he's going to be available by the time the 41st pick comes around. He's been getting quite a bit of late first round attention, but that could be a player that the Habs target either trading up or trading down. I think he could make quite a lot of sense for the Habs as well if they really like him, but I think he's probably no longer available there at 41, but beyond that, I think like Jack Nesbitt's a name, right? But another guy that's probably not there in the second round anymore. It's going to be interesting to see what kind of the Habs do, because the whole mold of big like centers that could maybe project as a 3C down the road, those guys aren't really, there might be like 1 or 2 left on the board if you're lucky at 41st overall from that tier in the late first, early second.
Is there like a sleeper that you guys have that you think fits like a glove for the Habs, or your favorite prospect in the entire draft that you would love to watch on your favorite team?
I'll let you start with that one. Yeah. I have no clue.
I think for sleeper fits, a fun one for the Habs would be Sean Barnhill. They need size down the right side. He skates wonderfully well, and he's still learning how to use his physicality. So I think he's kind of like, if you're looking at it through the Habs lens of we're looking for players that aren't at their physical potential yet, here's a 6'6" defenseman who skates really well, who has the range and has the strength. He's like 205, 210 pounds. He's able to shut things down, just the habits aren't quite there yet. If you project that being added to his game in the coming years, and with decent puck moving from the back, I think he could be a really interesting target there in the second and third round for the Montreal Canadiens. But in terms of players I would just love to see in Montreal, I think I'd have to say Riker Lee. I think I'd love to see Riker Lee in a Habs uniform. I think he and Václav Nestory, I mean, my 2 favorite USHLers this year, so I'm biased on that front, but I think both of them would fit different needs in the Habs system, where Riker Lee brings a level of elite handling and dynamism on puck, and just being able to dissect defenses like not all that many forwards in Montreal's core can do. And on the flip side, you have Nestory, who just works hard every single zone of the ice, every minute, every shift, and on top of that, he has skill and power forward game that's growing year upon year. I think both of those guys would be really fun additions for the middle 6, but they also might be guys that aren't good enough to go 16, 17 and are too good to fall to 41. So they might be in that awkward middle ground where the Habs miss out.
Yeah.
I think regularly could certainly be at 41.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not impossible. Like, I don't have. And the thing is that this year I'm like all aboard on size. I want aggressive players. I would love them to draft this way. Like, maybe not at 16 and 17. That I'm okay. They can go for a upside as much as they want, but in the second round and third round, I would go as aggressive as possible on players like I love player like Ethan Zata. It's not like my favorite player by any mean, but I love the aggressivity. A player like Prokhorov would be great too because he's huge, he's violent, he has a big shot. He's far from the NHL, like far from the NHL. But if he gets there, you have like a real player with size and like the big shot and the physicality. So those are the player that I would love to see the Habs like go and grab. Like, would I like them to go to get like a Alex Wang? I like Alex Wang personally. Does he make the NHL? I'm not even sure he makes the NHL. Like, but obviously, it would be like more in the first round. But like, he's not the type of player that I would like the Habs to target. Like, yes, I love Riker Lee too. I think that the skills are incredible for a guy that might fall into the second round, even like maybe in the 40s. But is he the player that I would like the Habs to grab? For me, no, because like I said, I'm all aboard on size and aggressiveness and like revenge on Washington. And
Yeah. Like, maybe like a middle ground kind of player for the second round that kind of like straddles those two options would be Charlie Trethewey, a guy that I was really heavily considering there in our little like snake draft mock team building exercise. But I think he'd be great for the Habs. He moves so well, and he has a real mean streak to him as well. Like, this is a guy that can play physical. It's definitely a strength in his game. He's an August birthday, young for the draft class, and started the season only being able to handle the puck like a hot potato. And by year's end, he was a pretty stable defensive leaning defenseman. And I think that's also a trajectory where you can kind of paint him adding in a bit more of the puck skills that actually made him stand out in like AAA hockey. And the reason that he even went to the NTDP was for his offense, not for his defense. But the defense has caught up at this stage, so that's something that I think the Habs could look at and be excited about how you can build on that profile over time too.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, that was great. And one last question, just really quick: if it were you, who would you guys take at 3 overall? Like, if you were picking and you had Kyle Davidson's seat, who would you pick?
If I was Kyle Davidson, who I would pick at 3rd overall, Cameron Schmidt. If you assume that Matthew Schaefer is gone and that Michael Misa is gone, then probably James Higgins, like or Porter Martin, one or the other. Like, do you want to build that center line, or do you want to add somebody to Bedard who can play on his wing? That depends what they want to do, but I think Higgins. Yeah, I like Higgins, but I like Martin too, so I don't know, one or the other.
I mean, the Hawks are going to need some size on that top line eventually, but I don't think they should go out of their way to use this selection to fit that need. I think that going for a guy like Anton Frondel is leaving a bit of value on the table in terms of the other options that are here. I think I'd even take a guy like Caleb Desnoyers ahead. I would consider trading down and getting a guy like Brady Martin in the later top 10 if you want to go that route and want to get a physical center. But I think if you're picking at 3, I would have to agree with Etienne. I think that James Higgins is the guy that I'd be selecting, whether he ends up playing as a center or as a winger long term. Envisioning the offensive sequences that he and Connor Bedard could construct together would be very, very exciting to watch as a Hawks fan. And then you also have guys like Frank Nazar to do that lower down the lineup. That's a lot of offensive depth, but also a smaller offensive core, so you have to balance that a little bit. So I think the idea of like moving the pick for something could be particularly enticing, because the profile that maybe the Blackhawks need the most with this asset isn't going to be the best value selection in this slot. So I'm very curious to see what they do on draft day. But honestly, like if I had to tell you what I would do, I would trade down to 5 and pick Caleb Desnoyers and grab an extra asset or 2 along the way.
Yeah,
it's probably the guys.
It's probably the smarter way, is probably that. But yeah, you need another team that wants to move up, and that's the Yeah, they want to move up for Higgins. Is there a lot of teams who are willing to give assets to move up a couple spots to move for Higgins in this year's draft? I'm not sure, so it depends.
Or do you want the pure chaos move, which would be the Islanders trading Noah Dobson's rights and something as a tiny sweetener for that spot? That could be interesting. But I also, if I were Noah Dobson and my team were just about to select Matt Schaefer, I'd stick around in Long Island a little bit longer to see how it pans out.
Yeah, they also like Mathieu Dash, the new GM. I think he pretty much voiced up that he wants to keep this team because he thinks the team is too good to actually rebuild. So, like, if you trade Noah Dobson, it's a big piece of the reason why he thinks that. I'm pretty sure. So, yeah. But it would be interesting though to have Matthew Schaefer and James Higgins. That it would be interesting, but at the same time, it's a giant step backward.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, one of the things that we had heard after the combine was that Islanders do want to get Matthew Schaefer and James Higgins somehow. Obviously, I think Noah Dobson would be an absolute incredible pair with Matthew Schaefer if you bring him up next year, the year after. So, yeah, that's what I wanted to ask. I think I'm the exact same way. James Higgins, Porter Martone, or trade down. You're getting a similar player at 3 that you could get at 7, and you could pick up some more assets. Maybe even 9 if we can somehow get JJ Peterka. But, yeah. So, yeah, thank you so much, Sebastian, for coming on. This was absolutely incredible to do this event with you or team building activity. I think we learned a lot about ourselves in this. I think that we built really good teams. I think everybody should comment in the section below who did the best. I know it's me, but I want your opinions. And you guys can find Sebastian and all of his stuff in the links in the description. He is an incredible worker, and Elite Prospects, like we said, just released their 1,800-page draft guide. You guys definitely need to check that out. And Elite Prospects Premium is one of the things that I use the most in my day. Their agency filter is absolutely awesome, so that I can annoy agents all the time for interview requests. And I don't think they want me to activate my subscription again, but it's definitely useful.
It's a great utilization of the subscription, man.
It is. But yeah, thank you guys so much for coming on, and we're gonna close it out. Blue Chip Prospect. This is your time to shine, and also Sebastian. There's cameras here, and here. This is a Hot Ones episode. Tell us, everybody, where they can find you.
Yeah, so you can find my stuff over at Locked On NHL Prospects, where I post a lot of podcast episodes, each around a half hour long. So hopefully they're relatively accessible, bite-sized chunks of episodes. And also, of course, Elite Prospects, and I centralize all my work on Twitter. So if I do something, I usually retweet and post it there as well. So that's _Sebastian on Twitter as well.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Perfect.
I don't think I have to say anything. It's on my channel. So, all right. Well, thanks for watching. See you in the next one. Peace.